Welcome, everybody, back to Rewatchers Council. Snark here. Joined, of course. When you figure there's a Mount Rushmore of council members, this guy is definitely on it, as there's only really four of us that have ever done it. So, I'd like to welcome back Brennan Mark. Brennan, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. Let's go. This is exciting.
Well, exciting. Now, talk about pangs here. Thanksgiving. Is this Thanksgiving classic? There's not many Thanksgiving episodes, I don't think, for shows, right? So this is definitely one coming up here, guys. Original air date, November 23rd, 99. Written by Jane Espenson, of course. Last one she did, The Harsh Light of Day. Directed by Michael Lang. His last previous one, I guess, was Bad Girls. Oh, Faith. Anyway,
Oh yeah, that one.
yeah, oh, Faith. Number one movie in the United States of America at this time. Well, the time of the episode aired. The World Is Not Enough, Brennan.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Yes. I don't know where you'd rank it in the Bond pantheon.
I haven't seen it actually, so.
Oh boy. Well, Denise Richards plays a nuclear scientist named Christmas Jones. Dr.
Yes.
Christmas Jones.
And there's a really bad pun that goes with that.
Oh, sure. Yeah. He's always wanted to have Christmas and turkey. Anyways, back to the show. Number one song, US Canada, no changes, smooth. Mambo number 5. Over in England, they had a pretty popular fella at number 1. Recently had a weird pseudo documentary movie made about him called Better Man. Robbie Williams was number 1 with She's the One. It says She's the One, it's only us, but I always just knew that She's the One.
Was he a monkey?
Yeah, he was not a monkey at this time.
Okay.
He had reverse whatever it is. He's following the evolutionary chart backwards. Now he's a chimpanzee. But, incredibly talented, especially for a chimp. Now, DVD synopsis time. Warned that Buffy may be in great danger, Angel returns to Sunnydale just as the spirit of a Chumash warrior rises to avenge the death of his people. Oh, doesn't sound very Thanksgiving to me. You know what I mean? Now, I'm going to start out with the old switcheroo. Here, not something that hasn't happened quite a bit. Nice normal guy walking on a path. Then Buffy shows up. One punch later, it wasn't a normal guy at all, Brennan. He was a vampire. She just said, maybe it was the clothes. I don't know. He looked like a regular Joe to me.
Yep.
It's a real brief fight. He's dust very quickly. Buffy, though you're a big Star Wars guy, it's almost like she could sense a presence here, Brennan.
A present she's not felt since.
That's right. Since graduation. Since her graduation. Yeah. But she doesn't know this at the time. Turns out Angel lurking in the bushes like a regular guy would do. You know what I mean? That's a regular Joe would hang out in school bushes. Anyways.
Yep.
We get to see some groundbreaking now. It's the new Anthropology Cultural Center. Very popular spot, I guess. The curator is Dr. Gerhardt. She's played by Margaret Easley. Had some roles on maybe a couple of Ferris's favorites. I know she was on NCIS, Lost, Rizzo and Isles. She had a role on. I don't know if you've ever seen Rizzo and Isles. I hadn't seen it till recently. That was pretty good. I didn't mind it at all for those kind of shows that Ferris likes. And she also did a couple episodes of Modern Family. So there you go. Lots of voice works, I guess, too. Assassin's Creed, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2, she had a role in as well, if you like video games. Anyways, Anya's there to watch because turns out Xander's got himself a new job. He's going to be a construction laborer right now.
Yes.
She's busy imagining herself quite a lot. This little thing or whatever. One question though: why is Willow and Buffy? Maybe just to be supportive friends.
I gotta keep an eye on Anya. I don't know.
Oh, maybe so. Yeah. They should. They're well, especially Willow never really trusts Anya, but maybe she's talked to Buffy or something. Let's keep a close eye on the former vengeance demon. Bigger question, probably more important for the show. Why the heck is Buffy wearing a cowboy hat?
I wondered about that.
This is very disturbing and one of the more disturbing things to happen in this episode. Anyways, we miss out on, we hear that Xander was working at Hot Dog on a Stick. That could have been a good time. We missed that. We find out that Willow's pretty pissed about the whole idea of Thanksgiving. Says it shouldn't be celebrated because of the indigenous people killed, nearly 400 years before, so that they can all gather together with a family and stuff like that. Buffy's just sad because she isn't going to have one. Because Thanksgiving, Joyce is going to be away for Thanksgiving. She says this. More on this on the next episode of Angel, by the way. Anyways, Anya explains how Thanksgiving is just a ritual sacrifice with pie. They don't get it till she spells it out for them. You kill a beast, you roast it, you eat it. You get pie with it.
Yep.
There you go. Now, we get the ceremonial first dig, which Anya is pretty upset that Xander didn't get to do. Well, his time to shine now, and he takes like two scoops of dirt before falling through a shallow wooden floor that leads to a cavernous room. How they only took two swipes at a shovel on some dirt to fall through this thing, and this mission was missing for couple hundred years.
Yeah, the logic is questionable.
Now, we're going to go back to what we would say in the first couple of seasons. You just take logic and you park it for 42 minutes or whatever it is, 48 minutes. And there you go. And then you can enjoy Buffy. Just not think about how no one knew where this mission was when someone easily could have just fell through the earth into the damn thing. Anyways, we get to see Angel now lurking outside the girls' dorm. Notes, luckily for him, we don't see any of these soldier guys about the initiative. Willow's going to inform Buffy that the abandoned building was that lost Sunnydale mission. Also, she still has her dingoes poster up, Brendan.
Yep.
Maybe it's time to take that thing down now, This is just going to be hard for her.
Yep.
Although it is a colorful poster, and it's better than the Celine Dion poster or whatever that was there before, I can tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, Buffy's just staring out the window the entire time. We find out the mission was believed destroyed in an 1812 earthquake. It's a lot like how the Master's little church there was believed destroyed. The earthquakes get you can go to that earthquake well quite a bit if you're in Southern California.
Yeah, I even had dreams of that earthquakes last night. That was weird.
Luckily, well, I guess I've seen floods and blizzards, but luckily never anything so destructive as an earthquake. I couldn't imagine you guys.
Yeah, I've lived through some big ones.
Ooh, yeah, I'd be one of those people freaking out. Not one of those people that are just all calm.
I hate earthquakes. It scares me to death.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, I get it. Anyways, Buffy doesn't think it's fair that happy people can have a holiday just because they get to go home to their family. Again, we're going to talk about this in the next episode of Angel. Anyway, she decides to do Thanksgiving herself this year. Well, sort of herself. She's, upsetting Willow now, who thought she agreed that all Thanksgiving is just a sham. Buffy informs her it's a yam sham. But her cute little rhyming isn't going to get her out of trouble this time, anyways. Buffy's looking forward to the nostalgia of roasted turkey.
Yes.
Who doesn't? Willow caves a little bit. Buffy wants to recruit
I like
thousands.
I like the dark meat. I like the dark meat of the turkey.
Then you're correct. You're the one who gets it, especially for sandwiches later.
Yeah, the white
With
meat is boring.
Could be a little boring. Could be a little boring, especially if it's not cooked quite right. Get dry really fast. Dark meat, dark meat goes a long way. Let's just say
Yeah,
this, Ben.
it's
It
true.
goes well, and has more flavor. There you go. I said it. I said it, and I'm never gonna take it back. Anyways, Willow wants to not invite Anya to this thing, obviously. Gets a little upset when reminded that her and Xander are getting pretty cozy as of late.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's one way to put it.
yeah, it's a nice way to put it. I think Buffy tells her that Thanksgiving is for people to have a place to go.
It's
You know,
true.
cut to Spike wandering the streets of Sunnydale here, shivering in a blanket from the cold, hot weather that is experiencing. Of course, a little trouble eating this guy. He's
Yeah.
having a little difficulty. Looking a little sickly here. But we switch over to the initiative. We got Riley, Forrest, and Graham now patrolling. They're talking their Thanksgiving plans. Riley isn't going to leave until the Wednesday night. Isn't that even what? When do like a Thanksgiving in America is a much bigger deal than his here in Canada. It's also later.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
always on a Thursday.
yeah, it's the Thursday. So, okay. So, but then you guys have like an extended long weekend or whatever. No one really works on the Friday either, except
Yeah,
for
usually.
people at
Yeah.
shops, people in shops and stuff like that. So leaving Wednesday, so he gets a flight out of Sunnydale to get to Iowa on Wednesday. It's
How
pretty
exciting.
pretty exciting stuff. He reminds them that Hostel 17 is still on the loose here, though, guys, and they're lucky to have Thanksgiving at all. It is nice that they get a 4-day break while something that they say can take down the entire initiative himself. And it's just wandering around free. But
Yeah,
Forrest,
like I said, the logic here,
I guess so. Forrest reminds him that the implant works and it can't harm a living thing. Here, Brendan. Riley says it's a threat to expose the initiative, whether it can hurt anybody or not. Gets a little mama's boy coughed at him by Forrest.
Mm,
And he questions how bad the cough is. Maybe he'd have to stay at home for the weekend. And all of a sudden, Forrest is much, much better. So, lucky thing for him. So, we're going to go to Anya. Now, going into Xander's basement. She's a little disappointed. He's not taking. She got into the muscly part of Xander here, Brennan. For goodness sakes, he though looks like death warmed over.
that's
Not
true, he does.
not great. And of course, announces that he is sick. Needs to take his trousers off.
Okay.
And that's important. When you're sick, you better be pantsless. Everyone knows it. She tells him he looks like every single disgusting disease she ever gave a man as a vengeance demon
True.
currently afflicting him. That's not cool. He calls her a strange girlfriend, which she likes. She likes that this disease is
It's an
causing her.
understatement.
And this, maybe a little delirious, but she likes this kind of delirious. Get to now. You get to see a little green mist rise out of the mission.
Ah, yes.
Oh, green mist. Dr. Gerhardt's on the phone telling someone she's excited for the find. But they need a new spot for the cultural center. Obviously, they're not going to build over the lost mission. So, the green mist is on its way in. It gains corporal form here.
Yeah.
Grabs an ancient knife and slits her throat. They did not play around with this
No, they didn't.
at all. They went for the brutality of it.
A
And
two-match warrior.
jeez. Anyways, Buffy and Willow are now, I guess this is sometime later, as it's now a crime scene. It's been taped off. I imagine the cops, the Emmy, they're all out of there. It's time for Buffy and Willow to go and do the actual, investigating. Willow mentions that the doctor's ear was missing, of all things. Wondering if maybe it was a witch, since there's some great spells that use ears.
Oh, goody.
Yes. I'm horrified by that.
It makes you wonder if Willow is speaking from experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly right. But she would botch it. We know she would. I'm also terrified because I got these huge ears. It's a good thing I have these things. Otherwise,
Yeah,
it's like I would be. A witch would just start salivating over these ears. Just think of the potions. For goodness sakes. Anyways,
indeed.
Buffy calls it a nice hobby. She says that's a nice hobby of yours. Well, which can't feel great, but Willow doesn't say anything else about that. And the prospect of an ear harvesting demon is now also approached. Maybe she Van Gogh'd herself, and then does the actual physical math. Saying, oh no, that's nonsense. Buffy notices the missing Shumash knife here. We go back to Giles's now. Buffy describes the horror of Thanksgiving shopping before informing him about the Shumash knife. Giles is getting intrigued as they were a local tribe, and I looked it up. And I guess they were sort of local. There was an actual tribe
Yep, yep,
in Southern California. I
yep.
think it was
It's a nice. Yep.
more coastal than we're led to believe that Sunnydale is.
Yeah, I
But
mean, the group where I lived was related to them, but
right,
not too much.
well, that's good. Anyways, Buffy tells him the knife wasn't used for convenience, as there was a big pair of scissors just lying around at the same time, and then gives him shit for not having a roasting pan.
Roasting pan,
He's a
yes.
single man about town. Why would he have a roasting pan? For goodness sakes. Although, if he's proper English, he would imagine having a Sunday roast at some time.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't know how much he cooks for himself, to tell you the truth, though. Anyways, he asks why it's not happening at her place. She tells him he needs to become an American. He needs to follow the patriarchal rules.
Mm.
And then he figures out it's probably to stick him with all the cleanup. And then says he'll look into the Chumash connection here. She leaves. She has to go get more supplies. Turns out Angel had been lurking, maybe in a bedroom or something like that, while all this is going on. He says that whoever killed the doctor is probably the danger he was warned of by Doyle. And Joe says he's happy that Angel's looking out for her, but tells him it's no longer his job to keep her safe. And then Angel pulls the old Uno reverse on him. Well, it's not your job either there, pal. Well, touche by Angel. Good job.
Mm-hmm.
Giles doesn't like her not knowing that Angel's there. Angel says he could distract her and doesn't want to get in her way. All this is nonsense. All of this was nonsense. I've never understood why he just didn't tell her, hey, I'm here. How is he going to distract her from something ridiculous? Anyways, they surmise that there was a spirit that was angry about being disturbed or trapped at the old mission. It's now released. Angel says that Father gave back the mission times. He may know something. I don't know why Angel would be friendly with a priest of all people. If he can't be anywhere close to him, I'm pretty sure he's got a nice big crucifix around his neck at some point here. You know what I mean? It goes against, clashes with his vampireness, no matter how soully he is. Anyways, Angel said, well, he's going to go spy on Buffy anyways. Giles says it's not fair. He can see her and not vice versa. Angel says he's getting the worst part of this, Brennan. Poor Angel's being burdened with so many things. Anyways, Spike now watches a vampire family feed their newest vampire. It's a touching, what's it? Norman Rockwell-esque setting.
It's the Vampire Hallmark channel.
It was absolutely adorable. Buffy keeps wanting to go and do traditional things like whip her own cream.
Okay.
Willow suggests whipping her own butter too. All right, you can go churn some butter, I guess.
Churn some butter, yep.
Yeah, mentions she needs to go see Father Gabriel. Then Riley shows up there in the street just downtown. It turns out he's been following them for quite some time. Willow decides he's going to go She's gonna go let them talk. She runs into Angel. Everybody runs into Angel, by the way, except for the one person who's supposed to have superpowers about these things. Anyways, he puts his hand up to hush her up. And she keeps saying that he's evil again, but he says he's there to help. Never mind, I'm there to help. And he
Yep.
whines that he can't see her and blah blah blah, whatever. And Willow gives him crap for hiring Cordelia. You know this wasn't going to go well with Willow. Anyways, her mortal enemy, Cordelia. And asks
True.
him, how's she going to help him? And she starts, then sees Riley. Says, who's that guy? Of course. Yeah.
Trouble.
Oh, brother. Buffy's going on to Riley about her plans. Gives him an invite to her Thanksgiving soiree. But she can't. She's headed back to Iowa to go river walking with the folks, some dogs, a whole bunch of them go and walk around in Iowa. She tells them to go have fun, whatever. And we get to see Harmony kicking Spike out of the tunnel house once again. She's found her power now as a vampire lady, Brendan. But he grabs her. She starts to lose her power. You know, she's cracking. It's cracking. But she starts rallying. Tells him that she doesn't need him to complete her. Atta girl. Then pulls a stake up from underneath the mattress and tells him that he's mean. When he tells her she wouldn't do it, you know, yay, you're not gonna stake me, right? It was like, well, you did it to me. And so it's like, oh yeah. He leaves, begs for someone to eat before he does, though, to no avail. Brennan.
Yep.
Anytime you can put Harmony on the show, especially now that she's a vampire, it's worth it, even if it's for a couple of minutes. Buffy's gonna go now to Father Gabriel's church, just in time to see him hung and getting his throat slashed again. They go for the brutal violence in this. She starts fighting the killer. Although it's a Chumash spirit, the spirit of vengeance, he can speak perfectly well English. He can speak it better than I just did.
That's true.
No, it's terrible. He tells her he's an avenging spirit named Huss, and he's there to carve out justice. It's pretty cool. And he's, Buffy wonders now about his ear collection. And she starts gaining the upper hand. Huss says she slaughtered his people and is now killing their spirit. So she gets a little guilty about this, lets him go. Then he turns into a bunch of crows. Which isn't cool.
Interesting choice.
Yeah, sure. Well, making dinner now, Giles comes up with the revelation that they're dealing with a spirit of some kind. Buffy wonders why she froze, though, before correcting Giles' terminology that he used. He grew up in 1960s England, I guess they used poor, things that wouldn't be acceptable in that present day, or in this present day, as a matter of fact. She also gets upset that he doesn't have a ricer. I don't even know what a ricer is. He says you're gonna just mash it with a fork.
I have no idea.
You just grab a there's mashers. It's not difficult to make mashed potatoes, guys. For goodness sakes. Buffy wants to find a non-slay way to stop Huss. It's going to be important for her. You got a knock now, though. We see who's at the door. Oh, it's Willow. She shows up with frozen peas and Chumash atrocities books. There's a bunch of them.
Okay.
Yeah, Buffy wanted fresh ones, meaning she wanted fresh peas, not fresh atrocities or the frozen peas. She doesn't want them to get mushy. Of course, Giles likes mushy peas. Mushy peas, it's not just overcooking peas, so there's a little more to it. But also to shell a whole bunch of pea pods. Nobody does that, right? People just buy the frozen peas.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Anyways, Will tells him that the Chumash were in prison. They had forced labor. They were given, European diseases. And those that rebelled were hanged. These guys did not have it good.
Nope. They
The
did
people
not.
coming, they didn't. Yeah, the people that came over there, not the best. Those that complained were killed. Had an ear taken from them for some reason. They know Hoos is recreating the wrongs done to his people. Giles and Willow argue whether he should be stopped or helped, as Wolf is watching through the window. It's odd to see a wolf in Sunnydale, you would
Yeah.
imagine. Willow wants them to give them their land back. Giles reminds her it's not theirs to give. Meanwhile, Buffy's getting so upset she has to go baste herself. Giles and Willow take this time to discuss Angel. Then, knock on the door. Who's it going to be? It's Anya. Anya and a ghastly Xander have arrived. Buffy's upset that they forgot the roles. They had one job. They didn't even have to. It's a pretty easy job there to get the roles. Anyways, Huss is helping himself to the weapons at the cultural center now. Xander says his doctor can't figure out how his symptoms are connected. Buffy mentions how the Chumash got diseased. Willow lists some of them off. There's malaria. There's smallpox, which Anya was thinking of, by the way. And of course, syphilis.
Oh, goody.
And we're going to mention the word syphilis more times than I think I've ever said it in my entire life within a 15-minute span coming up here right away. So,
Yes.
to watch for that. Anyways, Xander's a little panicked here, obviously. But since it's mystical, it could all go away. But they're not sure what to do. Giles decides maybe they could offer them land, which is something I appreciated a little bit. Xander wants to focus back on his syphilis, which is understandable. Anya helpfully tells him that the syphilis will only make him blind and insane. It's the smallpox that's going to kill him.
Oh, goody.
Yeah, So just chill out about syphilis. It's getting a bad rap. Willow wonders if maybe a spell would help. Anya then shows pictures of the vestibules and pustules that Xander's going to receive. Willow then sticks up for him. Xander reminds her that he didn't give Huss syphilis. Giles understands. Well, it would have been difficult. Giles understands that Xander freed him. That's why he's infected. But why are the others getting what they do anything? Willow says slaying isn't that simple. Xander says that he avenged his demon and that you kill them. The only thing you can do to avenge his demon is kill them. Which, for some reason, his girlfriend takes the wrong way.
Yeah.
It's not like she was avenged his demon and all her friends. You know what I mean. Anyways, there's more arguing here. Buffy finally stops it, but only to mention that she needs more ingredients, so she's more concerned about Thanksgiving dinner than afflicting vengeance demons and spirits. Giles reminds her that hatred is a cycle. All Huss is going to do is kill. Then we get another knock at the door. At first, there's nobody, and then a roasting Spike appears, begging for help. He's sizzling under his little blanket. The help isn't coming, by the way. So he wants to be invited in. Giles thinks that's going to be highly unlikely. He tries to do the whole rush in, but there's that vampire force field thing keeping him out. He then tells him he was Bob Barkered here, Brennan, if you know what I mean.
Yes, indeed.
And then, Willow can actually back him up on this. Willow informs everybody that Spike's having trouble performing. Very good. He then tells them he was, his info on the soldiers. If you let him in, you can know a little bit more about these guys you've been looking after. So we cut to Huss, who is speaking an incantation at this time to raise spirits of his clan. I'm imagining to help with his revenge against these jerks over here. Anyways, back to Giles. They let Spike in. They got him tied up. Xander, we know what happened last time. He tried to tie up somebody at Giles. It didn't work out. It didn't work out for him at all. Anyways, Spike starts playing that he's too hungry to remember the info card. Buffy directs Anya in the kitchen about getting brandy for some kind of sauce, I guess, that she's making. Giles has been wondering, besides the victims, who else could be seen as the next victim. Buffy offers up Dean Guerrero. So I guess that's the name of the dean at Sunnydale. Dean Guerrero. Giles wants to warn him. Willow won't help stop Huss, though, even though he's killing innocent people. For goodness sakes, Buffy tells her that he's been wrong, and she personally wouldn't want. But Spike bumps in now. This is when he starts talking about conquering nations and Caesar and stuff like that.
Yeah.
World history isn't about making friends. Said you had better weapons, you massacred them. Congratulations, end of story. Yeah, this is also more closely akin to people he was around at the same time. But anyways,
True.
he laughs at them for not wanting to fight anybody. Tells them it's kill or be killed. Take your pick. Xander, of course, agrees. He's not happy with all the syphilis inside of him at the moment. Giles does as well. But why is it nobody listened to him when he was saying the exact same thing? Willow and Anya go to warn the dean now. Xander wants to as well. Spike wants him to stay, though, just because he looks like he's about to die, and he's pretty sure he could eat him if he does.
Mm-hmm.
Which is just smart. That's smart thinking by Spike, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter, though. Xander's going to go with them. He's well enough to go visit a dean that he doesn't go to school for. Later, Spike is going to tell Buffy and Giles what happens when vamps don't eat, which is something that Giles has always been curious about. Living skeletons, Brennan, which could be pretty cool. Anyways, Buffy is tired of all the wings. She wants a civilized dinner, damn it. That's when the first arrow hits the centerpiece. Then they see Huss in the window. She tries to now reason with him. The others have broken windows and they're firing arrows at them. Spike is still tied up, takes an arrow to the chest, misses the heart.
Misses his heart, yeah.
Yeah, thank goodness for that. I gotta say, again, you're a big Star Wars guy. These guys are about as good with a bow and arrow as a stormtrooper is with a blaster.
It would seem so, yes.
Not there, I wonder how long into this thing Huss are getting, pretty upset that none of these guys can shoot a bow and arrow at all. Anyways, so we see it's all clear at the deans now. They thought they were maybe a little bit crazy. They were a little bit crazy, maybe. They now run into Angel. Xander immediately says he's evil again. More annoyance for Angel. He tells him that the Shumash weapons are all gone. He went to find, he went to find them to find out where Buffy is. What? He had one job. Angel has one job. Keep an eye on Buffy. You don't even have to, talk to her. Just keep an eye on her. He's already blown that one.
Yep.
And also, he's the detective. He's asking questions of these guys. Ridiculous. Anyway, Angel tells him that a leader was going to be the strongest warrior for the Chumash. So they know they're going to be after Buffy. He says he's going to call her. Which makes no sense. Anyways,
Okay.
tell him, you guys got to get back there fast. Giles then takes the call. He tells Buffy it was someone. Doesn't... I don't know. Then mentions needing a plan. You see Spike, he's got a couple more arrows in him now, which is pretty fun. Buffy goes for the weapons chest, takes an arrow to the arm.
Yeah, she does.
All right, this is going to come important in a sec. Spike apologizes for the conquering nation thing. We see the Scoobies heroically riding stolen bikes back to Giles's place.
Yes.
Giles and Buffy have gotten their crossbows now. They miss their shots. It's just like Star Wars. Xander, Willow, and Anya finally arrive. Xander knocks one of them out with a planter. Okay. We see Willow and Anya fight another one with shovels. I would see that doing a better job. Huss jumps into the apartment, starts fighting Buffy. Two others break in. Giles fights them. Spike takes another arrow to the leg. Always fun. Buffy stabs Huss with a knife. No effect. Xander fights another one now. Angel finally shows up. Snaps the one attacking Willow and Anya's neck. So I guess, just a little one of these is going to be working. It's not just what we're going to find out here in a second. Because he kills another one with one of their own knives. So, now we get it. Giles is going to get his head beaten into a wall here. Doesn't see him get actually knocked out, so I'm not going to put it on the board. But it is pretty fun watching him get his head beaten in. Buffy then cuts Huss with his Shumash knife. She gets it now. Their own weapons can kill them. But he turns into a bear. And I was reading up on this episode. I guess this bear was so well trained that all it wanted to do was bounce up and down and play, and they had to do a lot of editing to make this thing look at all dangerous.
Yeah,
it was it just wanted to have a good time.
Yeah.
What a nice bear. Anyways, Spike starts pleading for her to undo the spell. Xander throws a potato at it for some reason. He blames it for all his syphilis. Buffy then stabs it while it was distracted, kind of, for the way the bear goes out, just a stab in the back isn't great. I guess for Hoos to go out as well or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, they all return to Green Mist. Angel looks at her and leaves through the doorway. Of course, she looks just after. You know what I mean? Didn't see him. They all enjoy dinner now afterwards, except for Spike. He's told he could eat the gravy earlier because that has blood in it. It's like, gravy has blood in it? Do you eat a lot of blood gravy, Brennan?
I don't think I ever have.
No, I don't know if that's a huge thing, even for the Irish. Anyways, he's upset. Spike's upset that nobody bled. We know someone bled. We know Buffy bled. She got an arrow to the arm. Ridiculous.
Indeed.
But anyways, Giles compliments the cooking and the fighting. She said it wasn't perfect. Xander found that the anticipation, fighting, and sleepiness felt right to him, though. Then romantically tells Anya that his syphilis is clearing right up. Now, isn't that what Thanksgiving's all about?
Mm-hmm.
A romantic gesture, like, I don't have this anymore. Willow's happy that they all together like the old times. Then, of course, Xander has to casually mention, especially with Angel being here and everything. And the episode's going to end with that gif, Buddy looking up through her perspective at the table, and Xander just saying, oops. So, that's it for Pangs. Next time, we're going to have a surprise engagement, Brennan. Something that, maybe it's a long time coming.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time for a dream wedding here on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Something Blue is the next episode we'll be covering. Brennan, thank you so much. If you're not hungry for a turkey sandwich after this, tell everybody what you're going to be up to in the old internet.
Yeah, and you can find me on Blue Sky at BrennanMart@BlueSky.social. On Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube at Page Turners They Were Not.
Very good. Thanks, buddy. Let's see. As for us, stay tuned tomorrow, guys. Rewatchers Cancel Angel Edition will be back. It's crossover week. So now we had Angel showing up here in Pangs. The next episode, I Will Remember You for Angel. Very Buffy heavy episode of Angel. Does it work? You'll have to tune in to find out. This weekend, guys, speaking of the Buffy, crossovers and stuff like that, over on the Rewatchers Cancel MCU edition, they're going to be talking Avengers. The guy who directed that had a lot to do with Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel, if memory serves.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, that'll be this weekend. Guys, find it. If you like and subscribe and all those things, you can just pop up for you. Just like magic. That's how computers work to me. Over on the Sports Network, Ryan, Dealey, and I were talking about the Stanley Cup Finals, giving our predictions, talking about Florida versus Edmonton. I'm not happy with this finals, but we give our thoughts on that, predictions. That's over on the Sports Network now, LGRN Sports. And that's it for us this week, guys. No LGRN after Snark this weekend. Take a break.
Yep.
I'm gonna sleep in. I'm just kidding. I'm not sleeping. I'm gonna get up at 7 o'clock. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks everybody for listening. For the Rewatchers Council, I bid you all a very happy Thanksgiving.